Girl, it's finally happening. Ellen DeGeneres is walking away from Hollywood. She has her reasons about how it's finally time for her to take the final bow, but fans don't believe one word of it. To be fair, Ellen's been in too much trouble recently for folks to think she's simply riding off into the sunset. She's got ties to Diddy, she doesn't want coming out, she's been exposed for being the meanest person on the planet, and then there's her involvement in DJ Twitch's and Anne Heche's passing. Yeah, we got that can of worms to open as well. And that's why word on the street is that Ellen's making a run for it, hoping that her move will put the allegations to rest. Just what's happening? What dark truth is Ellen trying to hide after quitting Hollywood? Let's find out. Ellen's shocking new announcement. Yeah, the talk show host has become irrelevant over the last few years for good reason, but no one expected her to announce her retirement. She's been in the middle of her stand-up tour, which will be released as a Netflix special later on, and it's during a Q&A after one of her shows that Ellen made the shocking announcement. Someone popped the question about whether Ellen would be returning to making movies after her stand-up tour. And here's what Ellen said. No. This is the last time you're going to see me. After my Netflix special, I'm done. Someone followed it up with another question regarding her role as Dory from Pixar's Finding Nemo and Finding Dory, and Ellen said, "No, I'm going bye-bye, remember?" Looks like she finally caught on.
When people kind of are tired of me, I think I'll sense that.
It's interesting that Ellen passed that comment after she reportedly canceled some of her tour dates without giving fans a reason. But truth be told, people couldn't care less. They think the reason behind Ellen canceling the tour dates is pretty obvious. She couldn't sell tickets. As for the announcement about her retirement, well, that's turned into a joke on the internet. One person commented, "Ellen DeGeneres announcing that nobody is gonna see her anymore after this final Netflix special that nobody is gonna watch is hilarious to me. Like my sister in Christ, I'm pretty sure nobody is worried about seeing you anytime soon. That's what being mean gets ya. However, before you laugh it off, how about you look at the big picture for a second?" Ellen's making her exit from the show at a time when folks are bringing down the hammer on Hollywood elites, people like Diddy, and sure, Ellen got put through the meat grinder when the truth about her behind the cameras came out. But let's be honest, she's still walking around, and last time we checked, being mean doesn't get you a jail sentence, though it should. However, just because Ellen hasn't been charged with a crime doesn't mean she's clean. Her ties with Diddy. Let's not forget how Ellen hosted Diddy of all people a number of times on her show. And honestly, at this point, no one believes that Ellen was in the dark about him. Apart from birds of a feather flocking together, it's been well established that Diddy's devious parties were an open secret in Hollywood, and the only people who didn't know were the fans. But apart from knowing about them, there's been speculation about Ellen attending Diddy's parties as well. And instead of trying to convince you, I'll just let these interview clips do the talking. What's interesting is that this moment has been scrapped from the official upload of the Ellen DeGeneres Show on YouTube, but leave it to the internet to save the important moments. And Ellen seems to share a lot of those with Diddy, like this one. I mean, after watching these clips, it's safe to say that Ellen knew all about what was going on in Diddy's backyard, and she felt like bringing it up in front of people, only to laugh about it off camera. Not to mention that Ellen's friends with a lot of other celebrities who have been rumored to sit at the same table as Diddy, like Kris Jenner and Corey Gamble. Heck, back in the day, Kris posted a photo of herself on a yacht along with her boo, Corey, Ellen, and her wife, Portia, with the caption, "Life was meant for good friends and great adventures." And then there was that time when Ellen made headlines for going shopping with Corey. FYI, according to the rumor mill, Corey is pretty close with Diddy. Fans also discovered that he was at Kim Porter's house on the day she passed away. It seems like everyone in Hollywood is connected. One person commented, "Everything is so weird and intertwined. Who the hell knew Corey was with Diddy, now dating Kris and hangs out with Ellen? Like, why? I'm too confused and tired. Lock everybody up." Meanwhile, another person commented, "I will experience zero surprise if it comes out that Ellen is just as bad as Diddy." But what's even more concerning is that Ellen might have blood on her hands. Responsible for Twitch's passing? On December 3rd, 2022, Twitch decided to do the unthinkable. Stephen Boss made a name for himself on the reality dance competition show So You Think You Can Dance. But most people might remember him for lightening up the mood on the Ellen DeGeneres Show. He was a bright young man, spreading smiles all around. So imagine everyone's shock when they read about the DJ checking himself into the Oak Tree Inn Motel in Encino and unaliving himself. Friends and family were shaken up, and the note he left behind didn't answer their burning questions. Twitch simply alluded to having past struggles. However, authorities celebrities have refrained from revealing more about the note, and it's these past struggles that have fans playing detective. Was it Ellen? Everyone knows about how Ellen treated her staff. According to the BuzzFeed article that exposed her, she's the ultimate mean girl. She fired staff for taking sick leaves. And what's more, she was racist. A black woman who used to work with Ellen told BuzzFeed News how she was a victim of racist comments and microaggressions during her year and a half on the show. Apparently, a senior-level producer told her and another black employee, "Oh wow, you both have box braids. I hope we don't get you confused." And that's not all. During a work party, one of the main writers said, "I'm sorry, I only know the names of the white people who work here." And get this, no one said anything. Bearing that in mind, what stopped the staff and Ellen from treating Twitch the same way? When the DJ passed away, Ellen released a statement saying, "I'm heartbroken. Twitch was pure love and light. He was my family, and I loved him with all my heart. I will miss him. Please send your love and support to Allison and his beautiful children, Wesley, Maddox, and Zaya." It was short and sweet, and some fans apparently had an issue with it. Like, you're telling me she knew the guy for that long, but she couldn't be bothered to write more than 3 sentences. One person commented, "Still can't believe what you and Cubby did to this great, vibrant human being. He had dirt on you and the fellow members in the industry, and a literal demise of this special soul from the hands of said individuals." Of course, even celebrities reserve the right to grieve in private, and calling out Ellen for this is a low blow. But Ellen's closet of skeletons runs deeper. Anne Heche's blood on her hands. So I don't know if some of y'all remember, but before Ellen settled down with Portia de Rossi, she was dating Anne Heche. You might know her from movies like 6 Days, 7 Nights, Volcano, and Psycho. Anyway, Ellen and Anne got together back in 1997, and it was a big deal. Hollywood wasn't big on gay couples then, and Anne and Ellen were shaking things up in the industry by going public with their relationship. On the surface, it seemed like these two really had a connection. While talking to the Tampa Bay Times back in May 1998, Ellen said, "I met her at the Vanity Fair party, and it was a chemistry thing that you can't really describe. It just happened. Obviously, I was attracted to her, but that wasn't enough. There are a lot of attractive people. She is so unique." But you see, Ellen forgot the part where she was isolating Anne. Yeah, she was your typical controlling girlfriend who made life hell for Anne. Apparently, Ellen had rules, and Anne was made to follow them, regardless of her mental health. She had to dress down at events so Ellen didn't look bad. And it's not like Anne was having fun at the drawing board. There have been reports about Ellen controlling Portia as well. One source spilled the tea, saying, "She wants to control and micromanage every aspect of Portia's life, and it's becoming more and more of a deal breaker. If Ellen's on a cleanse, Portia needs to be on a cleanse. If Ellen quits coffee, Portia needs to quit too. It's Ellen's world, and what she says goes." Portia even ended up facing mental challenges because of Ellen. But back to Anne and Ellen. Of course, these two ended up breaking up. Anne didn't exactly talk about the issues at the time, but she did spill the tea later on when Ellen was a hot topic in the industry because of how she acted behind the camera. So in front of the cameras, Anne acted like she got over the breakup. Fans could see that she had some real trauma from dating Ellen. A day after the news of the split hit the tabloids, Anne was found in a stranger's home in Fresno, California. According to reports, she was calling herself Celestia as she looked for a spaceship. Yeah, it sure looks like Ellen did a number on her. Anne did reveal later on that she had taken a happy pill, and that's how she ended up in a stranger's house. FYI, Anne faced some real struggles growing up. She had to put up with poverty, a father who mistreated her, and a mother who chose to look the other way. But here's where things take a suspicious turn. On August 5th, 2022, Anne got behind the wheel of her Mini Cooper and hit the gas pedal real hard. And we mean real hard. She was going over 100 miles per hour and drove straight into a house in the West Los Angeles neighborhood of Mar Vista. Car burst into flames, and according to reports, Anne was trapped inside for an hour before firefighters managed to finally free her. She was later transported to a hospital and received treatment, but the damage had been done. Doctors failed to bring her back, and Anne went on life support. After a couple of days, she was declared brain dead, and her organs were harvested since she was an organ donor before friends and family were finally able to lay her to rest. Now that's the official story. But you see, everything about Anne's passing is sus. For starters, that day Anne stopped by a wig shop, and according to the owner, Anne seemed perfectly fine. Burst into flames, and firefighters arrived on the scene. So did the tabloids, and they caught the the exact moment firefighters wheeled her out of the carnage. Now keep in mind, Anne was in the burning car for an hour. She should have sustained severe burns. And it did look like she passed away from the injuries, since firefighters had her body all wrapped up. But just as they were about to roll her into the ambulance, the unthinkable happened. Couldn't have happened. But that's not the only thing that had conspiracy theorists working overtime. Where was the oxygen mask? We may not be firefighters, but we've seen enough movies to know that the first thing you do after you get a person out of a furnace is give them oxygen. But did Anne have one? No. And if she was alive, why was her body all wrapped? One person commented, "I was a group home manager for 14 years and have seen a hell of a lot injured people put on stretchers. All the things that were wrong with that scene. 1. There was no backboard under her. 2. She suffered smoke inhalation. Where's the oxygen mask? 3. Why did the firefighters have her in the house so long? 4. If she sat in a burning car, suffering major burns, why the heck does she have a full head of hair? 5. Most important, when she sat up, why the hell didn't they assess her physical state right then, instead of pushing her back down, no oxygen, and shoving her in the ambulance? Never mind that the firefighters who shoved her in the ambulance weren't wearing LA firefighter gear like the rest of the firefighters on scene. The whole thing stinks. Now, how does Ellen tie into this? Well, she did date Anne and left her in the trenches, forcing her to take substances. Sure, the actress already had baggage, but Ellen contributed to it as well. What's more, Anne was working on a film about trafficking before she passed away, Girl in Room 13, and a lot of folks think that's what made her a target. In some ways, tying Anne's passing to Ellen does seem like a stretch. But after Diddy, if there's one thing fans have learned, it's to question everything. Ellen may not be directly tied to Anne's passing, but she does sit at the same table with other Hollywood elites who we all know pull the strings behind the scenes. And that's why fans are questioning her decision to walk away from the industry as well. One person commented, "Ellen DeGeneres has always rubbed me the wrong way. She always preached about positivity, yet behind the scenes, she was notoriously vile. It really makes you wonder what else she's done behind the scenes, and the fact that she was aware of Diddler's antics at his parties raises even more red flags. But for the most part, fans couldn't care any less. One person commented, "I thought she already quit Hollywood, or better yet, Hollywood fired her." But what do you think of the situation? What's the real reason Ellen's quitting Hollywood? Is it to live a quiet life or avoid a fate like Diddy's? Let us know in the comment section below.